because that's exactly what I'm going to do. But before cutting any more holes, the first thing I had to do was boil it, acetone it, and then dye it to try and get it to look all like old and kind of disgusting. Now after I'd made the holes, I had to fill them back in again. So I made a little door like you can see here, and then I also made some little brick inserts to fill in the gaps. But oh my god, were they a pain in my ass, the amount of hot glue I went through. It was worth it in the end because the shutter door came out looking so much better than I thought. And then I also had the idea to use the sole that I'd cut off before and then reuse it as the top of the shutter. Okay, but now we've got our base of the abandoned building. I started adding all these posters and then trying to distress them, make them look really old. Oh, and then I made these tiny little spray can bottles because I thought it'd be nice. Now when I first explained this project to a few people, they didn't quite understand what I was on about, so I'm hoping it's starting to come together for you guys as well, because most people understood once they saw the end product. But my most favourite part about this project was that all my Instagram community got involved. So I put up a little story poll and asked everyone what they wanted me to add, and then everyone has their own little thing on the shoe. I knew this piece had to have a lamppost, and I made a few mistakes with it, but I eventually got there in the end, and it works as well. And here's what it looks like. And here are some final pics. There's so many things I didn't include in the video that I added, but you can see them here. If you saw my other process reels, then you'll know that this whole project theme was whether or not it'd be classed as art or vandalism, so I'd love to know what you think. So I'm at the school. I got a little bit lost on the way here, but I found it in the end. This workshop was really similar to the one that I did the day before, at a school which is catered towards children that struggle in mainstream schools, whether that be due to mental health problems, SEN or behavioural issues. I'm in the school, I've everything set up, all my paints ready, and I'm going to take you along with me and show you what all the students come up with. The first really important step was to prep the shoes, so I taught them how to sand and acetone. 420 ended up being a really popular theme today, and also neons. Everyone was feeling the bright colours. The idea again was for me to teach them how to prep and paint, and for them to finish off in later lessons. A couple of students even came prepared with designs. We had another crazy splat design, and I'm loving the colour combos. I had around an hour and a half with each group of students, but a couple of kids even wanted to stay for the full day. I had the best time. It was super rewarding to talk to all these students and get a better insight on the struggles they face. This student didn't want to wait to wear them, so he put them on straight away. Here's how all the shoes turned out. They got really creative with their designs, and I can't wait to see them finished. I'd love to do more of these kind of events in future, so drop me a message if you're interested in a workshop for your site. It's time to... They came out quite well. They're a lot better than I thought. I also hadn't soldered since I was at school, so getting the lighting in was a bit of a challenge for me. The infamous FBI letter had to be included, so I put it on one of the vamps. I made some mini little spray cans that sit on the top of the overhang, and then the last reference I wanted to include was this police line do not cross tape, which is a reference to Ice Cube's lyric, "When I'm finished, bring the yellow tape." But here they are finished. I'd love to know what you think. Did I prove those haters wrong? Was that pair of dunks worth sacrificing for this project? Either way, my client's happy, so I'm happy too. Idea for a while now, and when I saw this base shoe was up for sale, I was like, oh my, this is perfect. I visited some family in Chicago over Christmas, and the city gave me so much inspiration, but what inspired me the most were the shiny silver L trains that weave in and out of the city on an elevated track. So naturally I'm making it my mission to turn this sneaker into one. Wish me luck, I guess. I've made it my mission to turn this Air Max into a Chicago L train. I found the city so inspiring when I visited, and I wanted to create a piece that celebrated that. This might not be a popular decision, but I ended up deciding to go for this purplish pink pink tint for the windows. I did get to a point though in this piece where I was feeling so unmotivated and unsure about the direction, but thankfully I stuck with it. I started adding all these details. I made a little bit of a mistake because I didn't leave quite enough of a gap between all the doors to add the stickers, but it's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Whilst most of the trains that I saw weren't graffitied or vandalised at all, I really wanted to make this piece another community project. So I asked my Instagram followers for suggestions for things to add, and I'll show you what those were in part 3. I had the worst case of art block. I was sat at my desk trying to do commissions and it just wasn't happening, so I thought, how about go to Hobbycraft, grab myself a canvas and paint something that I want to paint for once. Gave it a quick sand and then I was ready to do my base layer of pink acrylic. Remember guys, I have severe art blocks, so I ended up tracing the image because I'm lazy. I did a quick acrylic underpainting and then I started with oil paints. We don't do realistic colours around here, we do neon, so I went for this blue and purple kind of vibe because I feel like that's what Stormzy gives me. He gives me blue and purple colours. And then added all the little details, which was a lot of fun. And then, I don't know what to do with the background, and then I was like, nah, it has to be graffiti, it has to be. So I was really dumb and I didn't let the oil paint dry. I did this all in one day, and then I had to really carefully paint around Stormzy's portrait. But I was too determined to have this done because I know what was going to happen tomorrow. I was going to end up doing commissions and then not getting back to it. I was just kind of winging it with the graffiti design, just doing whatever felt like it needed. I tagged on some of his album titles. It was looking quite empty in the back, so I added these bubble writing letters. I thought I was done at this point, but then I was looking at it from far and was like, no, it needs more stuff. So added more purple. Did this little flower because it's cute. Only 9 hours of work and my art block was gone. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It looks completely different to the work I was doing 2 years ago, so I'm really happy. He is up for sale. If anyone's interested, then please drop me a message on Instagram and let me know who you think I should paint next. I was really feeling to do Dave or maybe Biggie, but we'll see. Okay, bye guys. Have you seen the new Lightyear movie yet? Because I haven't, but that was not going to stop me from creating this collaborative piece. The theme was for me to create a pair based on the new Lightyear movie and for Canary Kid to create one based on the old Toy Story versions. All of my concept is based on the trailers because the movie wasn't out yet. I was really inspired by a scene in the trailer where Buzz Lightyear is travelling through space and these stars are warped behind him. I tried to make the shoe look like that by doing an ombre from the front to the back. My sister saved the day when I ran out of tape and she managed to find some upstairs in her room, which was my tape to begin with. Now the next important part was to start adding Buzz's portrait, which was the focal point of the shoes. I really wanted this character to stand out, so I bumped up the saturation and the neons, and this also means they glow in UV, but you will see that soon. You'll also notice the green part and then the back heel of the shoe is actually inspired by Buzz Lightyear's other suit, which is also the one that Toy Buzz is based on. You can see me adding a couple more buttons here. I wanted to sell the idea that it was a scuffed up suit, so I added these silver bits which are supposed to look like the metal that's underneath the paint. To make it look even more like metal, I added a gloss top coat by Liquid Kicks. And after quite a lot of hours of work, here is how they turned out. I'm so gassed with the result. Stay tuned, I'm going to post another video for Zurg. But let me know what you think. Did you know that Zurg is actually Buzz Lightyear, but an old version of himself that's travelled back in time? I'm just as baffled as you are, so can someone who's watched the new Lightyear movie please tell me what the hell happened? But anyway, here's the process of how I made the Zurg shoe for my collab with Canary Kid. I started off a little bit similar to the Buzz shoe, but I really wanted the accent colour to be a glowing red like Zurg's eyes. I thought the shoe would actually be a lot quicker than the Buzz shoe, but it actually ended up taking me twice as long. I didn't anticipate how much detail actually goes into the little neon highlights. And I took a lot of inspiration from Zurg's suit, so I included some piping and the vents and details that are on his spacesuit. I really wanted to sell the illusion that these back panels were made of metal, so I used Liquid Kicks high gloss finisher to make the panels really shiny. And here's how they turned out. This project was definitely a challenging one, but I'm so happy with the results. I'd love to know what you guys think.